Okay, I'm re-recording this world. This was originally part Lucidity. This is Lucidity part 9 or part 10, I can't remember. I guess the video wound up being corrupted or something, so... But I decided to come back and re-record this. This is the Cardon Forest and the main part of the city. So it'll take me a minute to walk through everything again, and this is from Mega Man Legends, the best Mega Man game ever made. It's made for the original PlayStation. There was also technically a version that was on the N64, but the PS1 version is better. I still want a Mega Man Legends 3, as well as a Brave Fencer Musashi 3. I will say that the original Brave Fencer Musashi for the PlayStation 1 was the best PS1 game ever made. And you could tell while playing through that game that there was a lot of stuff that they wanted to include and they just couldn't, due to limitations of the console and the disc. Now, out of the rest of the Mega Man games, especially like the side-scroller stuff, I don't know, I think Mega Man X4 was probably the best. But yeah, Mega Man Legends, starring Mega Man Volnut and Roll Casket. Honestly, the best Mega Man game ever made. Now, granted, I'll be honest, some of the controls are a bit tanky and less fluid, but honestly, even if the game were to be re-released on a PS5, I wouldn't want the controls or the graphics to be updated at all. I want them to be the exact same way they were. And technically, I'd want a Mega Man Legends... Like, if they make a Mega Man Legends 3, I technically want it to come out as a bundle. I want it to be a Mega Man Legends 1, 2, 3, and 4. And technically, there's a few other games, like the Tron Bon collection and stuff like that would be cool to come with, too. It's also worth mentioning that, you know, the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 game. But this was a very good game, and I think like this and a lot of old games, like the original Brave Fencer Musashi, should definitely be played in its original form. I do like the original Shining Force game quite a bit. And I like the fifth one, Shining Force EXA. Dot Hack Infection, for anyone who likes the anime Dot Hack Sign. And the first time I did this, I looked at the poll a little bit just because of the scene with Tron. I'm trying to run through this a little bit quicker, but yeah, Mega Man Legends was a really good game. Good games on the original NES. Mario 1, Mario 3, Swords and Serpents, Robo Warrior, Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest, Dragon Spirit the New Legend. Of course, Super Mario World is really good too. Sega Genesis, good games like Kid Chameleon, Vector Man, Zero the Kamikaze Squirrel. On the PlayStation, of course, all the Final Fantasies, especially Final Fantasy V, Final Fantasy IX, Blam Machine Head, Chiquito, Jersey Devil, Spyro the Dragon, Crash Bandicoot, Croc Legend of the Gobos. Really good BS2 game is Zone of the Enders, the Second Runner, Grandia 3, Wild Arms 3, Star Ocean Till the End of Time, and Mega Man Legends. There'd usually be stray cats there. You can like pet them, and technically every time you pet them, you were hypothetically adopting them. Because every time you pet a cat, they would wind up back on the flutter, which was your ship/home. And eventually your home would just be overrun with cats. Keep saying I'll finish a lot of the old games I've already started, but I'm like looking at people ranking visual novels. I'm like, let's see if I can find new suggestions. But yeah, everyone's like, yes, it's like, wrong way. And everyone's like, well, you mentioned that there was a Brave Fencer Musashi. You wanted a 3. What about a 2? Well, technically there is a Brave Fencer Musashi 2. It's called Samurai Legend Musashi. It's on the PS2. And it's an okay game in its own right, but it's honestly complete garbage compared to the first game. But it's still a fun game in its own right. But yeah, the reason why I say, like, I'd want a Mega Man Legends 1 and 2 in the same regard that there was. Like, technically, what I'd want is, I'd want a Mega Man game released as a bundle. It should have Mega Man Legends 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and Redux. And you're like, multiple of those games don't even exist. I know. Point being, of course, you'd have Mega Man Legends 1 and 2 as they are, and of course side games like Tron Bonne Adventures included again as they were. By the way, there was when you first meet the art curator of the museum, she's right here, and she's drawing a painting, and you have to help her by giving her some lipstick to use as a color palette. Also, Wily's boats. You know, there's a Wily in the Mega Man series. I once made a video game. I made a video called Touch Grass. And it was about like the idea of like, what if there was a Touch the Grass game? And the idea of this game was the idea was on this Lake Junon, because I have a picture of Mega Man in this underground lake dungeon, which kind of a sad I couldn't go in it. But yeah, I had a picture of Mega Man in this underground water lake ruin, and I was like, it'd be cool if there was like a VR chat sort of thing, but it was like in video game backgrounds. That way you could just like walk around in a video game background. So yay, references. Reference to a reference. But I'd want a Mega Man, what I mean is this. I'd want a Mega Man Redux, which would be, I would want the original version of this game still be available, but I would want, take Juno from the end of Mega Man Legends as the final boss. I kind of feel like a Dragon Ball Z fusion of Juno, and I feel like a Dragon Ball Z fusion of Juno and Nito from Dark Souls, the giant skull dude, Nito, would be pretty cool. Like, here's Juno here in Mega Man. But like a redo of Mega Man Legends, but in Dark Souls. But I would still want people to be able to play the original version. Also, I think a Dragon Ball Z fusion of Albedo from Overlord and Roll Casket would be, both in terms of appearance and personality, absolutely awesome. And probably bestest girl. Heck. I think Albedo from Overlord and Milim from Reincarn as a Slime, both very cute. I also think Sylvia from Konosuba is very cute. Yes, I would date a tall woman with a giant cock and big titties. Would also date Astolfo. That being said, real life I do like museums. Whether it be art museums, or science museums, or technology museums, or even history museums. Also, this is where the curator would stand sometimes. You'd give her the random stuff you'd find. But yeah, she's a red-haired woman wearing purple clothes. Very, very sexy. Definitely would date the 26 to 36-year-old version of her. That's either Femboy Bishonen or Futanari. But yeah, I just wanted to re-record this because... And here's the thing. I would want... Because here's the thing. In case... Well, honestly, no one's ever going to remake Mega Man Legends anyway. But I would want it released. I would want the original version of Mega Man Legends 1 and 2 to be available, as well as any side games that had already been made. Plus a redo of it, of the original Mega Man Legends in the style of Dark Souls. But I'd also want a redo of Mega Man Legends 2 in the style of Halo. So, a redo of Mega Man Legends 1, but more like a Dark Souls type game. And a redo of Mega Man Legends 2, but it's much more like an FPS game that feels like a Halo game. And technically what I mean by Mega Man Legends 3, 4, and 5. 3, I'd want a version of the game that they were originally going for 20 plus years ago. Then 4 would be a different take on it, where it's still a sequel to Mega Man Legends 2, but you may have a different variation of 3, as well as going further in the game. And then 5 would be some... And I would also say 4 would have a bit of a mechanic like Shadow of War, Assassin's Creed, and the Nemesis system. And then I would say Mega Man Legends 5 not only should have the best graphics, also you should have all of the characters come back. Especially the art curator from this museum, because she was really cute. But at that point, you should have a sort of style for the gameplay that's almost like a Path of Exile 2, or Dynasty Warriors, or Zone of the Enders, or Dragon Ball Z Budokai sort of thing. And you just have sort of like parts reincarnated as a slime and Overlord in there, just because I'd want to see Albedo and Milim. Also Ainz and Rimuru. Everyone's like, stop being a weeb, and I'm like, no. Okay, well, I went and re-recorded this. Later.